I lived in the apartment for 20 years. It was mine. I paid utilities, repairs, taxes. The apartment was my only property. My son was already grown. My daughter lived separately. When I ended up in the hospital, my son suggested I give the apartment to him under a contract. He said it would be temporary. I signed the documents because I trusted him. He said that after I recovered, I could return. I believed it was safe. When I returned home from the hospital, I could not enter. My son and his wife had changed the locks. They said the apartment now belonged to them. I had signed the documents, but no one asked me about the conditions. They took the keys, documents, and my phone. I contacted a lawyer. I was told that the contract could not be challenged because I had signed it myself. No one cared that I had been deceived. They said everything was legal. My son started setting new rules. I could not leave any of my belongings in the apartment. My clothes, furniture, items, documents, everything was thrown onto the street. Neighbors saw them throwing my things out. My bedding, dishes, personal items, all gone. I stayed at friends' places. My son called and threatened that if I returned, he would call the police. I had no documents to prove ownership. All my things were destroyed or taken. They changed the locks weekly. Every time I tried to enter, they kicked me out. My son and daughter-in-law said the apartment was theirs and I was a stranger. Neighbors heard yelling, but no one intervened. I went to court. The process lasted months. My son filed a counterclaim, saying I had voluntarily given the apartment. The judge ruled against me. Evidence I provided was rejected. My son used the apartment, rented rooms, and collected money. I lived with friends for a year, moving from one temporary place to another. No one offered a long-term stay. I lost contact with relatives as they supported my son. My daughter did not help. My son and daughter-in-law repeatedly told me that I had nothing and no rights. They sold my furniture, dishes, and appliances. Everything I left was gone. Phone, documents, personal records, all taken or thrown away. They even changed the locks on the balcony and basement. I went to the police. They said it was a civil matter and would not intervene. My complaints were ignored. I tried to find a lawyer through public programs, no result. 2 years passed. The apartment remained with my son and daughter-in-law. They rented rooms and collected money. I lived in rental apartments and friends' homes. My health deteriorated. My son forbade me from taking any of my belongings. Every attempt was met with yelling, threats, or a police call. I had lost my documents, so I could not prove ownership. During the court trial, my son presented photos claiming I had voluntarily given the apartment. He submitted his wife's testimony to support his claim. The judge refused to return my property. They changed all the locks, painted the apartment, and rented the furniture. Any attempt to reclaim my property ended with police involvement and fines. I lost contact with neighbors. They feared conflict with my son. I was alone. 10 years passed. The apartment is still with my son and daughter-in-law. They rent rooms. I live in rental apartments. I cannot buy anything. All my savings are gone. Attempts to reclaim even documents or personal belongings ended with threats. They said I was a stranger and the apartment now belonged to them. Police and lawyers could not change anything. I lost my family. Everyone who could have intervened did not. I remained alone, without a home or property. My son and daughter-in-law constantly threatened that the police would come if I tried to enter. They controlled all entrances. Even the basement and balcony were under their control. I was left with nothing. Any attempt to recover money, items, or documents ended with threats, court cases, or police involvement. My life became a struggle to survive. I work, pay rent, buy food and medicine. Everything else is lost. My son and daughter-in-law live in the apartment and earn money. I realized that I gave the apartment and they kicked me out. I lost everything I had. It happened because of trust and betrayal. No one protected me. My story ended with one truth. I gave the apartment and I was left with nothing.